Hello and welcome to Tech Turks live-ish. We've had Zooms for the last few months, so we're back to good old Tech Turks. And today on our first Tech Turks is Tosin of African Things, and they make African-inspired products and services. So Tosin, welcome to Tech Turks. Now, so tell me, how did before African Things, what were you doing and what led you to African Things?
What inspired African Things actually was when I was there, somebody, like my very first day, asked me if I lived in a mud house, because they knew I was from Africa. And I was like, really taken aback, because even until I went abroad, my mind was, I'm from Nigeria. Africa was, even me, I kind of had a stereotype of Africa. And it was until I got there and I realized that no matter where you are, as long as you're in Africa, there's this presumed image of Africa and the people there. And it really hurts, thinking that this place I'm so proud of, the rest of the world sees us less than and lower than a shithole country, When I came back to Nigeria, I saw that people were now promoting more African products, from Ankara earrings, Ankara jewelry, and I saw that this is something amazing that we can show the world that, see, this is what we can do. So from there, during my NYSC, I started looking for people that were making these type of products and started marketing it to the school I was working in during NYSC. I started buying wholesale from them and reselling it in the schools that I was working, and there were actually at least a small side hustle on top of my NYSC, which was really small already. So this was like extra money as well. And after a while, I started seeing that this can be we can take this so much further. So people started doing Ankara bags, but they started doing the ones that literally was made out of cardboard. Once it rained like this, the whole thing melted. So I wanted to see how we could make that of a higher quality, get to international standards. So with my aunt, who was into fashion design, I started talking to her about helping me produce bags. And I think at that time, I felt handbags were a bit saturated. So I felt, okay, let me do school bags. Since I was in the school, I already had a target market right there. So I started making school bags and selling them at the same school I was in. And little by little, it started from 10 bags. Before I knew, it was 20 bags. And once NYC was done, I now said, okay, I'm really thinking internationally here. What do international companies in Nigeria do? They sell in Spa, they sell in Game, they sell in big stores, not just directly one-on-one. So I started talking to the stores. So I finished NYC, I was now working at the Chair Center. And Miss Ebuka Awashika is like a mentor of mine. While I was working, I disturbed her so much. I was asking her for all sorts of feedback.
That's great. She knew about your side hustle and she promoted it.
Yes.
And I think that's something that, that paradigm shift that people don't even have. They don't want people to aspire to do their own things. They just want people. They just want to do their own stuff. So that's great.
She was so supportive. Like even till today, I call her from time to time to just get little feedbacks on how I can move my business further, and she's always there. And whenever she's not busy, she's always there to help. And yeah,
I think African Things is like a platform. Yes. You produce your own stuff, but you also use it to aggregate other people who are doing stuff. So how do you make sure that the standards are international, as you say?
So we first start with the people. The people have to be people that are attention to detail. If you see someone that can't even send you good pictures, I already tell them that, sorry, you're not the right partner. Because if you cannot even focus on getting amazing pictures of your products, it means you're going to be like, oh, you can manage this. You can cut corners here and there. So I always make sure the first and foremost is, who am I dealing with? So for like my own product specifically, I make sure like the producers I work with, they are people that will tell me that, madam, I can't do it like this, so it will make the bag break like this, to make it like. So I'm always looking for people that are already the ones correcting me on if I get to a place where I'm like, well, the client's already on my neck. They're the ones telling me, no, we have to make sure quality. So I always make sure I deal with people like that. The same thing goes for the people listing on our website as well, that they have that attention to detail. I don't want someone to order on my platform and they deliver and the product is breaking down, it has a a negative effect on my own brand as well. So I make sure they send me samples. That's one thing we always do. We make sure they give samples to us. So even our producers, whenever I design any product, I make sure a sample is made first and foremost. We test it for a week or two, throw whatever we can into it and see where are the places that to break. I literally have nightmares over days where even I'm human. There was a time where we cut corners and it was like God was like, see, this is what you should know. This is
the price you pay for trying to for that cost, right?
And seriously, like, I wish it didn't happen, but I'm also thankful it did, because now I can be like, every time I'm like close to saying, let's manage it, I'm like, no, remember that time, remember what happened. Exactly. And from then on, me and my staff, we literally sit down step by step, cutting thread, if that's before it goes out to any clients. So sometimes it's cheaper to just send it directly from the factory to the client, but I'm always like, no, I must first see it, check everything one by one, packaging, barcoding. And like I said, I'm dealing with stores, large stores like Spa, Game. They have standards, and if your quality is subpar, they are not going to reorder. They're going to literally ban you, and you're never going to go back to supply them.
Funding. so how have you financed this whole venture?
I honestly have to thank Tony Elumelu for his
Uncle Tony again.
Honestly, Tony to the rescue. So like I said, I was working at NYC. During NYC, I pretty much just lived off of 20K from the school that they pay me and saved everything else. So I raised about, in a year, maybe 200K, and outside of how I started slowly, then I now started working for Chair Center. I still maintained at my 20K budget, and everything else went into the business or savings, and just whenever I needed to scale up. But at the time, it was still really to get that many of stores, the number of stores I wanted, because I was telling them I'll give it to them for free. So that means it was my money that I was using to produce the stock and the inventory. So I now applied for, that was the first round of Tony Elumelu in 2015. And I applied for it. I honestly had forgotten that I even applied for it. And a few months later, even way past even having it in memory, I got an email that you've been selected. And that's when I was like, okay, which other places do you want to supply to? Where do you want to stock? And I used the funds I got from that to really...
How much did you get from there?
I got $5,000. Came to about 1.5 or so.
You see, for those people, so the Elumelu Foundation really, really works.
Yes.
People think it's a fraud, but a lot of people have told us about the great work that...
Honestly, it gives you that courage, when you have... Because I genuinely feel like money doesn't necessarily help the business grow. When people tell me that if I have 1 million naira, then the company will be successful, I don't believe that's the case. I think it gives you a bit of security to be more adventurous, but even then, you just have to risk it. No God's no glory, so you just have to risk it. But thankfully, because of my determination, I've also gotten funds from Lagos State Employment Trust Fund.
Yes, we had that.
This year, I got Nistra loan as well. So, and even I got a GTB loan as well. So we've been able to pay back as well, and from our business. It's not just collecting money. We're trying to make sure the company is growing and we're paying back. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So last question. I can go on forever. But what's the future for African Things 2020 and beyond? So
we want to expand and not just be only African Things brand. We want as many African brands to showcase themselves across the globe. That was the original plan. And right now we've launched our e-commerce platform, so any African brand can list on our website, and we literally market to as many people as possible. From Facebook ads, LinkedIn to Instagram, we're promoting different brands across all platforms, and we're making sure that globally they know that Nigeria, Africa has something of quality to present to the world, and that's our goal. Yeah. Excellent.
Tosin, thank you for coming on the Tech Turks, and we'll continue the conversation offline.
Thank you so much for having me.